sea. Catching fish is where I'll be, come rain or sunny skies. I'm gonna grab my fishing line, yes, we're taking out some time. That's fishing. This has been a fishing tale, just like Jonah and the whale. No place I'd rather be. Yes, we're casting out a line, everybody's feeling fine. That's fishing. That's fishing. Yeah, that's fishing.
On to the fishing.
Hi and welcome to That's Fishing, guys. Now today we're doing something very, very different. We're here at Honda. We've got Chris and Andrew who's going to take us through a few things at the Honda plant here. We're our beautiful Honda on the back of our Stavy craft. Now the reason we're doing this today is simple. Everyone at the boat ramp has been asking us about Hondas, so I thought, let's do the next thing. Let's go to the next step. Ask the guys. Andrew, what are we going to get up to, mate?
What we're going to do today, we're going to get Richard, our technical advisor, is going to run through some of the...
Who's standing behind the camera,
who's
by the
standing
way?
over there. We get Richard to run through some of the technical aspects of the engine. Well, I'll give a brief overview, and then Chris here can finish it off, and any other questions that you have, he can certainly do that. So
No problem.
there's plenty to answer, plenty to look at, so have a good day.
So he's the most intelligent one here because he's in a suit?
We'll run with that.
We'll run with that.
We'll run with that.
He's going to get me for that. I will. All right, well, let's get inside and let's check out these Hondas. Okay, Andrew, now we're inside the factory talking about the beautiful Honda that's on the back of my Stavy craft. What's the advantages over this model versus, you know, maybe 2-stroke versus 4-stroke, and what size do you go from, like your smallest to your biggest?
Well, our biggest is 2 horsepower right up to the 250.
250?
250 horsepower, which came out about 2.5 years ago, which has certainly been very popular. The advantage between 4-stroke and 2-stroke is that 4-stroke are far more environmentally friendly, just because they don't burn oil along with the fuel, and they don't use as much fuel as well. So it's better for the environment overall. There's also many other reasons, as long as technology of 4-strokes has come a long way since the day many, many moon ago. So they are much more, they perform a lot better than they used to.
Yep.
This one, for example, this has got VTEC and what they call Blast. A lot of the early problems with 4-strokes was they were very slow on the start. They had a lot of lag, so the boats really, as they call, get out of the hole. And what Blast does, it changes the air-fuel ratio, so when you push the throttle down, all of a sudden you get a higher rate of fuel and air into the engine, which obviously increases the speed of the prop, and then you get out of the hole quicker. As you get on the plane, that drops off. The airflow and the fuel mixture change to a normal rate, which is far more fuel efficient. With this engine at 4,500 RPM, the VTEC comes in, and what the VTEC is something that was designed for Formula One back in the day.
Yep.
And when Honda were in the Formula One racing, they came up with an idea to get the cars off the line by employing this VTEC. And VTEC is run by when the oil pressure gets to a certain level, it's at 4,500, it slides a different cam ratio over the top.
Yep.
So what that does is basically it changes the torque curve of the engine.
Like a variable cam timing.
Very similar, and it changes the torque line of the engine, so the engine continues to accelerate harder so you get more torque at the top end.
Oh, okay. And also the other question we'd like to know is servicing wise.
Yes.
How often do we, because there's a lot of myths, I reckon, you really got to service 4-strokes a lot more often and all this kind of, is that a bit of a myth nowadays? Or? Well,
obviously engines are a lot better than they used to be, as I said earlier. Yep. The engine, with Honda, your first service is 20 hours.
Yep.
So when you first get it out, get it running, then it's every 100 hours after that.
Yep.
But if you are using your engine a lot, it's advice to change the oil a bit more often.
Okay then.
Okay,
and what about doing, everyone talks about the tappets or shims, you got to shim them every 12 months or 2 years, whatever. Is that, again,
it's very important with these motors to get it done. Your dealer will tell you when they're to be done. Basically, it's every 2 years.
Okay, every 2 years?
Yeah, so your valve clearances have got to be done, which is very important. If you let that lag, then you're going to develop problems which can become very expensive to fix.
Oh, okay. Now, is there a set amount of hours within saying that? Like you say, 2 years.
Every 2 years or every 200 hours.
200 hours.
But
So-
it may be better to get it done every 2 years rather than every two.
Okay.
Look, you have to discuss it with your dealer. Your dealer will look at your engine.
Yep.
They'll obviously do the sizing in there and see what needs to be done.
So what's the next step we're going to do, mate?
What's the next step? We're going to get Richard, our technical guy, to come and have a look at the engine. He's going to put it onto the computer and we can run over some of the diagnostics and see what this engine's been up to and how hard you've been using it.
Uh-oh, the lie detector. All right, well, let's get Richard in and get him on and we'll see what he can do for us.
Fantastic.
Well, guys, the cover's off the engine now. We've got Richard here on the technical side of the engine management system. I nearly got it right that time. Mate, you got the lie detector open.
We've got the lie detector open, yes, Brian.
How flat out have I been lately?
Okay, all right. Well, this, as you know, is the BF225, very high-tech, compact four-stroke engine. What we've got here is Dr. H, which is our diagnostic tool that we use to basically fault find anything to do with sensors, ECU, along those sorts, that sort of a line. Now, what it also does is tell us information about engine history, any faults that it may have had. Also tells us, for instance, here we've got hours, 346 hours.
346 hours we've done it. So
That's good. Good. Yep, going strong. All the sensor data we've got here. Now, if I scroll down, we should find at idle we've spent 138.5 hours. And you've done 6,000 RPM, which is the maximum RPM of this engine. You haven't got to that yet, okay, which is interesting.
That's when Eric was driving.
You've spent 4.5 hours at 5,000 to 5,900 RPM.
Oh, okay then. So that's all right.
So, well, if you consider that you've done 346 hours overall and only 4.5 hours at high RPM, that's quite reasonable. Yeah. So you're not overstressing the engine. These things like to rev anyway with VTEC.
So basically, don't baby them.
You don't baby them. No. They're designed as a thoroughbred engine, so they do like to rev and they perform very well.
Okay.
So yeah, the Dr. H is what all our dealers use to diagnose your engine, your Honda engine. When you take it in for service, it gets put on there every time, just to find out the history of the engine, whether it's had any fault codes, and just to ensure that the serviceability and the service is done correctly.
Oh, okay then. So it doesn't lie. It's a computer on board.
No, you can't get away with it.
So there's a computer on the motor that tells everything.
Absolutely everything.
And they can't change that. That's just for the history of the motor.
That's right. We can't change that either. It comes from Japan as a locked component.
Yep.
We can clear codes and we can read information, but we can't change anything. Any of the mapping, any of the software in there, we cannot change. So.
And does it tell you that it needs a service, or does it say that it needs?
No.
Doesn't say anything like that.
It's purely a factual diagnostic tool.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to tell you whether it's got any faults. It's going to tell you engine histories and things like that. All the servicing and you know, your interval, your time intervals and hours and all that sort of stuff, your dealer will have to specify to you.
Oh, okay then.
Which is
again,
100 hours. It's again
back to the dealer again.
Up to the maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's all written in the handbooks of the engines once they're given to the customers. So
all right then. So it's all good.
It's all good.
So the lie detector didn't lie too much.
No, you've done well. You're looking after it and using it well. So that's great.
All right. Well, thanks, mate, for being a part of that and telling us all about it.
Great to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's fishing. Yeah, that's fishing.
Hooked on Tackle Talk with Big Mick. Okay, guys, today at Tackle Talk with Big Mick, we're going to be talking about tackle boxes. Little ones, big ones, all sorts of ones. Give us a quick rundown on, mate.
Well, a lot of different varieties here. When we're out fishing and storing your gear, it can be quite difficult at times.
Yep.
We're always looking for pockets and bits and pieces to store gear in. There's a company from Japan called Versus Miho have come up with some fantastic storage devices, and we can give you a quick run through on what they do.
What was the name again?
Versus Miho.
Versus Miho. Now, it's taken me about 10 goes to get that right.
So yeah, it just rolls off the tongue nicely. As I said, they're a funky Japanese company that produce a lot of different storage devices.
Okay then, yep.
That's a good example of what we've got here today.
Yep.
Well, we start with the little fellas first.
Yep.
The freshwater guys, especially fly fishermen. they run little pocket-size fly boxes like that. So it basically looks like a mobile phone. It flips open, and then you've got all your little storage devices.
You can put all your little flies and things like that in.
Yep, put all your bits and flies and bits and pieces in, fold it up, close it up, put it into your pocket, into your fly vest. As simple as that, and you're off and going. They also do a slightly bigger version of it as well, which is that guy there. Even some of if the guy's using small seltzers and things like that, you know, wading up your streams, you put your little seltzers and things like that in there as well, and just a little bit more storage room there. Oh, yeah. Moving through to little boxes like these, which are really, really funky.
Yep.
This is a saltwater, freshwater. Use it for what you will. Basically, it sits on your waist.
Yep.
A couple of lift-off lids that pop out. You've got lure hangers in there, so you can just sit there and hang your different styles of lures on there.
Little,
little Rapalas or whatever other type of lures that you're using.
Yep.
Close up the top there, you've got areas there.
Yep.
Yeah, so put your swivels or a couple other smaller low-profile type lures in through there. That flicks in there. As I said, it sits on your waist there, so everything's fully accessible. And then it's just a matter of closing it up because it's on its belt. Just push it around out of the way, and you're off and fishing.
Happy days. Especially if it's a trout fisherman, that'd be a ripper.
Oh, ideal for that. Yeah, so off the surf, spinning your metal slugs, which we've often talked about.
Yep.
You're not carrying shoulder bags or anything like that. Everything's contained in a little box like that.
Oh, ripper. Now I've got one here that goes on my hip, which I'll show you. This one here is a real good one, which I actually like. It comes apart when I try to get it apart.
Push the metal clip down, that's
metal
right.
clip down, sorry guys. And it opens up like this, or you can move it around to your front. And what you do is just simply open it up. You've got all your bits at hand. When you finish, close it up, bang, put it around to your side, keep fishing. I reckon that's absolutely brilliant.
Again, freshwater guys, saltwater guys, got a lot of use there to go and use.
Yep.
The other little funky one that we do a lot of squid fishing, obviously, we've seen plenty of that on the show. They do a really good squid box as well.
And you can see all the squid jigs so clearly in the...
Everything's clear and easy to see. The lid just pops up, so I can work like that and then just pull my jigs out as I need to. More importantly, if I'm going to be squidding there for a little while, I can then just fold that down, sit that up there, and just work and get my jigs out as I need. End of the day, rotate around, close her up, wash it all down, it's all ported.
Yep, so it's got holes in it, so all you got to do is just throw it in the sink when you get home.
Yep, give it a rinse.
Give it a bit of a rinse and let them dry.
And that way you're not letting your crowns and things rust up over a period of time. So it's another good way of doing it, and again, practical all the way through.
All the way through, yep.
All the way through to the big boys.
To the big one. Now, I was quite interested in this one, mate.
Yeah, it's a good little box. It's a lot of storage room in there. So it's a bigger style of box. We've got bulk storage on one side, which just flops out there. All your dividers sitting there, so you can set it up to whatever configuration that you need it to be on that side.
Yep.
Locks in, folds over. Over the other side there.
Look at all the storage. And I love this, the dose. Pull this out, you got more.
Wherever you want, there's room everywhere. We've got boxes like that, so you can put your hooks and swivels and smaller lures in there if you like. You've got your lure cards there too, so you can just dip your lures on there so they're quick and easy to use. Probably the best feature about this box, what I like, compared to a lot of other boxes on the market, if I closed that and forgot to do the latches up, simply by just grabbing the handle,
and doesn't come apart.
Doesn't come apart. Whereas most of the conventional briefcase style boxes, if you lift that will just go absolutely everywhere.
And I know that from experience because it happens on my box. Trust me, it just opens up when I forget to lock it down.
It makes an absolute mess. And once you realise what you've done, you just lock it back up, pick up, off you go, no dramas at all.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. And there we have it. We go from the big one all the way down to the little pocket size.
One. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So any more information about that, go to thatsfishing.com.au and follow the links to Mick, and you'll be able to find all this information very shortly.
Very much so.
All right, thanks Mick for Tackle Talk once again. See you guys. Right, what are you going to tell us about now, mate?
Okay, well this is our Honda corrosion guard. It's a lanolin product, so it's made from sheep's wool. It's a fantastic barrier for the harsh marine environment. It's a must to spray your engine to protect it against all the salt chemicals. And
okay, so you spray it on, stop or stop most of the salt rust
Absolutely.
and things like that appearing on
Absolutely.
your motor.
Yes, that's
Yep.
exactly right. It's also a barrier, so it's a protection layer.
Oh, okay then. And what, you just cover it all?
Okay. Yep. Well, this is our Honda product.
Yep,
So
give
you
it a
just
spray,
basically
mate.
spray it all over everything. A nice, not too thick, just a nice even coat. Plastic you don't have to worry too much about, but all the fittings.
Yep.
You do this once, you come back in after you've rinsed, you've had a bit of a rinse and cleaned it up.
And don't forget, you do this before you rinse your motor as well.
Yeah, it just it layers it a little bit, a little bit better. So you just give it a nice liberal coating, not too thick in an area.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's fishing. Yeah, that's fishing.
Now what we're doing here, guys, is keep away from the prop when you're doing this. We'll put the ear muffs on, let the water run, and now we're going to start it and give it a run.
Absolutely, we're going to start and give it a run. Now the reason why we flush it this way is because the water will enter the pump.
Yeah.
The pump will positively displace the water. Right
So
down
the pump
through the
picks
engine.
it up,
Absolutely.
goes right through the motor,
Yes.
right through all the heads, all the galleries,
All the
everything
water.
like that,
Absolutely.
and then come back out.
Absolutely. Now it's important to flush and allow the engine to run up to temperature,
Yep.
running temperature.
Yep.
Thermostat's open, and it flushes the top of the water chamber as well.
Okay, so you get the warm and
So not
give it
just a
good
couple
flush.
of minutes, just let the engine idle and warm up, get up to
All right.
running temperature, and yeah, you'll have a complete flush then.
Okay, and you should do this after every time
Every time is good.
So every time you go fishing, guys, give it the flush. Lasts longer. Simple as that.
Yep.
Right, hit it. Right, Richard. Give us a quick overview of
Yes.
what size motor it is, how it runs, what kind of motor it is, because I know it's a 225 as we said before,
Yes.
but give us a complete rundown, like what kind of motor it actually is.
Okay, well it's a 4-stroke engine. It's rated at 225 horsepower on the prop shaft. It's an all aluminium 4-stroke 24 valve engine with VTEC.
Yep.
It's the lightest in its class.
Okay.
And Honda has pioneered the 4-stroke for decades, so it's a very compact high-tech power unit, which is very robust in the marine environment.
So for a 225 horsepower motor, it's the lightest in its class.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And when you say it's lightest in its class, you mean between other different brands or in the class of
In the class of 4-stroke
engines? In the class of 4-stroke engines.
which is a very broad class.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got the lightest engines in the 4-stroke class across many across many power sizes too.
Oh, okay. That's good to know for those who want to put new motors on their boats or buying a new boat. That's something to really look into,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Also very quiet. The refinement of the engine that comes from they are actually made in Japan, generally made in Japan.
Okay.
The refinement of the engines is very high, so they're super quiet, very good for the environment, and a very reliable unit to put on the back of your boat.
One of the things we've found using this particular motor is how not only quiet is it, but the vibration side of it. There's hardly any vote, so quite often we pull up and Eric will say, turn the motor off, clean up.
Absolutely.
Because you're too busy getting your rods out and whatever else, and you forget it's actually running.
Yep, and that's what the Honda Marine Outboard's all about. Refinement, nice and quiet, good for the environment. They come with a fantastic warranty and a good package. So yeah, they're a great alternative to a marine 4-stroke outboard.
Oh, okay then. There you go. For any more information, go to that'sfishing.com.au. Well, Chris, thanks for being a part of That's Fishing, mate.
That's a pleasure, Brian.
Give us a rundown. What do you actually do here at Honda?
Okay, well, there's many things we do here. Honda in Australia, Melbourne, our head office, which is a little further down the Hume Highway. That's our main admin office.
Oh, okay.
And this facility we're in today on Sydney Road. This is our facility for our workshop, all our product storage, all our logistics. So all of the product that leaves the Melbourne area is stored here. We've got a fantastic facility here. As you can see, we've got quite a large workshop area that's all set out in the appropriate corporate guise. And we run all our press fleet vehicles from here.
Okay.
We do some engineering works out of here as well. We also do a lot of pre-delivery and pre-work for Australia Post, as you know, for the postie bikes.
Yes.
And the new postie bikes that are coming in as well. So it covers all products. Obviously, focus at the moment for the show is marine, but we cover motorcycles, we do power equipment products, lawn and garden products. We've got a massive range of products that we actually bring in, all out of here as well. So,
and you do a bit of the racing stuff here too, I see.
We do have a little bit of racing
Even though I'm not allowed to mention it?
You're not allowed to touch it. As I say, if we see it on camera, we'll have to kill you, unfortunately.
Okay.
So we'll guide you through the correct places.
Now, as some of you already know, I used to race motorbikes and I'm trying to get a bit of a ride on a motorbike, but I don't think it's going to happen, is it?
We'll see how we go. I don't think you've got a helmet with you,
No.
know, so maybe next time.
Oh, right. Well, here we are, bud, the new postie bike.
Exciting stuff.
Now, why have we gone green, bright green, compared to our old red one?
Okay, well, as you can see, the green kind of stands out a little bit, Brian, doesn't it?
It does, probably on the safety side
It's
of
a
it.
little bit brighter there, so it's give the riders the opportunity to be seen when they're on the road or when they're on the pavement, which is probably most of the time. So I think safety is a big consideration with an organisation like Australia Post. So obviously we want to make sure we're doing the right thing for these guys, and well, green it is.
Green it is.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between the old Honda and the new one here?
That's a good question. Well, the old CT110, as you know, it's been around for many, many years, so and that bike hasn't changed for a long, long time. The new Super Cub, as you can see, is gone high tech basically. Now this unit, small as it is, it comes with a 110cc fuel injected engine.
Fuel injected.
So, yeah, so obviously your emissions are going to be a lot better. It actually complies to a lot of the Euro emission standards as well.
Oh, okay then.
So that's a real positive and something that Honda are always keen on, making sure we're environmentally friendly. And as you can see, the look and the style of the bike, it's really been brought more up to date as well. They're using the name the Cub. Now Honda aficionados will remember the Cub. It's been around for many, many years, so that name is back on the side of a bike again, so it's good to see that out on the road. So it's a good looking thing, and as I say, I think a lot of the posties are really looking forward to riding it. You know?
And the best part I'm looking forward is seeing it come down the road, mate, with me fishing magazines.
Well,
because it's going to stand out at long last.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks, mate.
No problem.
Righto, guys, we've come to the end of That's Fishing on a special with Honda. Thanks to these guys for giving us a big rundown on the motor and what they do and everything here at Honda. Thanks, guys, once again.
Pleasure, Brian.
And a big thanks to Honda for donating this beautiful motorbike for the stress relief for the Colonel for the up and coming season. Until next week, guys, I'm Brian Sanders, the Colonel. Catches. Never give me a rod, I lose fish. See, never give me a rod, I lose fish.